And welcome everyone to episode 7 of the She-Hulk Spoilercast. I've actually remembered the episode for a change. Actually, is it? No, it's not. Is it? It's episode 8. Wow.
Right. The tradition continues.
Why now? Wow. It's episode 8 of She-Hulk Spoilercast. As always, I'm Mitch. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 692tweets and 692pics respectively. And of course, I'm joined by Sean.
Hey, you can join me on Marvin the Martian __12. That's it. That's all I got.
And joining us this week, we said we'll do it, and he's had to wait longer than they would have liked. But joining us is Nick from Multiple Fandoms.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Gonna do your pluggies?
What? I'm sorry.
You gonna plug? How many times have you done this, man?
So professional. Where can people find you?
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm a bit out of it today. Look, man, I just lost my snap. I just lost my snap. Okay, so a lot of my contacts, a lot of my streaks, they're all gone. I'm kind of nervous right now, but
anyway, like great start to a day.
Oh yeah, definitely. But anyway, you guys can find me at NFJ Films on Twitter. And you can also find my the show Multiple Fan Base is on YouTube and Spotify. I just did a stream yesterday as of this recording with Jared from the Nerd Academy, and we did a little bit of a live reaction for him. Kind of so I don't know what you would call for him, but
I did see
a live
that,
reaction commentary hybrid.
Exactly.
I think that's what I was gonna do for Wonder Woman 84 for the commentary, just not watch it and going first time, but I ended up watching it and then.
Well, who wants to hear anybody yawn for like 20 minutes? Like for the reaction. This is why someone's asleep.
That's the Andor commentary, I tell you. That's my commentary. But that is coming up.
There's a line.
That's a different conversation for slightly later on. But we finally have it. The man's has shown back up. The boy is back. It's not his show. It's She-Hulk show. Remember that. And they make a point to make you remember that at the start of this episode. It's like previously on my shows. It's like,
so
I just adore
how did it feel?
Right show. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah. How did it feel, Nick?
It felt pretty good. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I lost you guys. Yeah, it felt really good. It felt nice to, see Charlie just, jump back into it. Like he just never left. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm still a bit nervous.
I can hear you smiling.
Yeah, I am smiling. Yeah.
Straight up, I would grin like a Cheshire cat the entire episode. Just
same here.
Start to finish. I just couldn't believe it.
For sure.
It was a slight bit of disbelief, but at the same time, it's like he's never left. He's always been here.
Well,
it was weird.
Yeah. Well, the feeling for me was like watching an old friend return. Like that was the feeling.
First off, congratulations, you got him. You done it. You won. It's
nice to see him back.
It's just a massive dub all around. It's colossal, the size of this W.
And more to come. So, I'm blinking.
Would I have wanted a 2-episode of Daredevil? 100% in this. I would take this one because it was honestly. I think this episode was faultless. There's nothing wrong with it. If you complain about anything in this episode, you are just wrong. It is. Top to bottom.
I think this is
perfect.
And I've had conversations. I remember having this brief conversation with him once, and like we were talking about it, and he's like, "Finally, we get to see a Daredevil that does Daredevil stuff." That's exactly what he told me. He's like, he was smiling as he was saying that. It's like
I say, 'cause he said that in interviews, right? He said something like he's happy that Marvel had got him back because now Daredevil can have a budget and he can do like Daredevil stuff. It's just like, oh, he's so happy.
Yeah. You know, it's like the Netflix stuff was like, I always have a soft spot for those shows, you know, because of it. You know, it's in my DNA now. You know, in my DNA, and it's about a character that I love. You know, I genuinely love this character. You know, and you know, it's nice to see that it's actually getting the respect and the respect that it's due. You know, like the Netflix stuff was like always an ongoing battle with Netflix about budgetary reasons. You know, I mean, stories and stories and stories about conversations about, hey, we can't do this because it's not in the budget. You know, and you're trying to represent the character as best you can with what you have. You know, but finally now that he's in the MCU proper, you know, there's not that problem anymore. We finally get to see the acrobatic, Daredevil.
We also probably, I think my favorite ever scene of Daredevil, like just Matt Murdock in general that we've had, where he just like Giga Chad walks into the courtroom and just wipes the floor with Jen. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? So it's her showing you just like literally destroying her in a courtroom right now.
Well, he's doing the same thing he did in the Netflix stuff, but better. He upped the game, you know, and like he did all this stuff in the show, but like you never really had that much time in the courtroom. But like to see him walk into that courtroom and just kind of own her, like the whole time, you know, like every time she says something, he has a rebuttal to it, you know, and that's the character, you know, that's who he is, you know, but yeah, I just love it. I mean, I've seen this episode a couple times, but when I seen it finally when it was airing, I smiled the whole time. You know, like it was just like finally, you know, he's home. You know?
It's a special episode. Like it's very
special. Oh, for sure.
Because like I feel like they've just been. I know they listen to people anyway, and they take set like ideas to an extent, but it's literally just everything everyone ever wanted. It's like, you know, we need to see Matt Murdock and She-Hulk go at it in a courtroom. Cool. You're gonna get a damn good scene with that. We need to see Daredevil do this and that. Cool. There you go. It's in there. Wouldn't it be fun if they ended up, you know,
hooking up,
but bumping the super uglies around? And there you go. No, man's done the walk of shame. Like I was
gonna say like best part. And like I think people. I don't think people like the people who complain about the humor. It's like, one, this is the part of the show. Like any character, if you've seen Blade in this episode, it'd be the same way. You know, like this humor.
Well, see, this is.
But like, but with Daredevil, it's inherently in the comics too. There's like a very good precedent of him having a sense of humor. The problem is like everybody knows Daredevil. A lot of people know Daredevil now because of the Netflix stuff and. This is what
I was going to say, Rick. I don't know how like Nick feels about it or anything, but I assume you, Sean, would agree with this. There's humor in the Netflix shows. He's walking around. Yeah. How long was the avocados at Lord meme going around? That thing lasted for months. Who said that? Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And like, how long have you two been lawyers? Oh, about 7 hours. Like,
hours. Yeah.
He has humor in those shows, and they just lift. To me personally, this didn't feel like they changed a thing. It didn't feel like anything was heightened. The only thing that was changed slightly was how he moves in the suit. Like, It's even a couple of smiles in the Netflix series, right? But like, it just feels like gone and drop. Like they lifted him up, they dropped him in the show. Bang, we're just gonna move forward. That's how I.
For sure. You know, like, no, yeah, I 100% agree because like even the conversation that he had on the rooftop. I mean, you could have kind of lifted it up and put that in the Netflix show at a certain point. You know, it wasn't all doom and gloom with that show, but like it did set the precedent of how people feel about the tone. You know,
it's like people have confused the tone of those shows for what that character did in those shows. Like, yes, there was a lot of dark stuff going on around him. That character was never brooding and gloomy.
Yeah,
Like, sure, there's the sad Daredevil meme and all that, right? But like, you're obviously gonna have a sad point at some point in that series. But he was never Batman brooding. Like,
no. Well, I always seen people like the people that I see complain about it. They act as if he got up on stage and started doing a comedy set or something like that, and it's he just said he said some quips, here and there. He smiled, that's it, and it's nothing out of the ordinary, even for the Netflix stuff. The only Netflix show that was like 100% doom and gloom was the Punisher stuff, but like everything else.
Well, I was gonna say Iron Fist, but yeah, you're right. No.
Iron Fist was unironically funny, but like
Yeah.
But like, that's a conversation for another day. But I don't think they changed the tone all that much. I think they just, and I hate using that word, Disney-fied. I think that's just another buzzword people use. They can't describe it. Something they have to like use a buzzword. It's
an easy label, right?
Yeah, but like, I don't think that the character in the Netflix and the character in the She-Hulk episode are almost identical, in every way, And people can disagree with me in the comments. I'll comment back, and we'll have a discussion.
Do. Give me engagement.
Yes, I'm ready for rebuttals because I'm a I know some stuff,
Now, Nick, give us your hot take on the Daredevil situation, so you can drive my engagement even further.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not no help with this. Spoiler cast today, guys. I'm just a bit stressed out today. What was the question? I'm sorry.
How do you feel about the what's the? I don't want to say translation from Netflix to She-Hulk.
The transfer.
Yeah, I suppose transferability, right? Like, how do you feel like they've changed anything for the character in any way, apart from the obvious, like the way he moves and the flips and all that, right?
No, it seems like the same character from the Netflix show to me. Like, it just seems like they just carried him over from
and added more acrobatics.
Exactly, that's pretty much all they did.
Which, speaking of that hallway fight, I was generally sitting there going, "There's no chance. There's no chance this thing's a one shot." And it's like, it better be a one shot. In the space of like 3 seconds, I went from no, like yes, like please, and then they didn't do it. And I'm like, you know what? You're saving it. I get it. It's fine. Like, you want it for his own show. You're kind of paying like homage to the first hallway scene, like how that thing went anyway. It's like, it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
There's a lot of homages to the Netflix stuff in the show, like a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
And I love the biggest one, and like I remember having this discussion with the showrunner, the needle drop, where she's asking who.
I so want to talk, and we're not going to talk about Daredevil the entire way because this is obviously. We remember who showed this really is.
Big part of it, and she plays.
Obviously, it's a big part of it. It's obviously it is kind of bigger than the show itself, unfortunately. But this is still a She-Hulk.
But she's
there's some talk about this.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm on the side of media literacy is dead, right? Is people do not understand how stuff works. Okay. Roll your brains back, everyone listening to Multiverse of Madness. We had Charles Xavier roll out here to a specific little thing. Right?
A little ditty.
You move on slightly forward, right? And you have Kamala Khan, and Bruno goes, "That's mutant," and then you hear that same specific thing, right?
Still heard about it.
They want you to make a connection, yeah? That's how this stuff works, right?
Yeah.
Get to Daredevil. They do the exact same thing with that intro that is absolutely iconic at this point. Everyone knows that's Daredevil's, like at least the show's intro, right? They want you to know this is that Daredevil. It's not good. It might be a soft reboot. At worst, it's not going to be a hard reboot. The fact that they've used that, they're telling you that the stuff you've watched before is all there.
Matters, yeah.
Yeah, like they haven't wiped the slate clean. That thing is there for a reason. It exists. You can't pick and choose which motif is being used to tell you something and which one isn't. That's not how this works.
Yeah. Right. Well, I would say this, like, this is how I would explain it. It's like, look, when those shows were going, it's such a low-key story. I mean, in the grand scheme of the Marvel universe, like what's happening in Hell's Kitchen,
and they played up on that, right? Because it's like, the Avengers in their ivory, or the big guy in the ivory tower.
Yeah,
and us little guys down here, they'll never know. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, even if you go back to the show, when they talked about Daredevil in the news, in the bulletin and stuff like that, it was never a picture of him. It was always like an artist rendition of what the character looks like.
Yeah.
So even then, like, the character is such a low-key character, and what happens to him is very specific to a very specific area, very small area in New York. By that, what it means. But like it, like that's how he goes under the radar. Like that's why. That's how I would explain that he wasn't noticed by, like, Tony Stark, because Tony Stark's got other things to think about. He's talking about alien invasions, people stealing his armor.
He did. He did have things to think about. He no longer has anything to think about.
But he's no longer with
us. May my boy rest in peace. Like,
may the fictional character of Tony Stark rest in
peace. He's not fictional to me.
But you know what I mean, though, right? It's like whatever happened in the Hell's Kitchen, it's like so insignificant to the greater MCU. So it's like that's how I would explain that the Netflix stuff is very canon, and like people just I agree with you. Media literacy is so dead. That's the one thing that is someone she needs to make a gravestone and bury it in the park somewhere, because it's just. It's funny, It's just funny.
It's like Jared's picked up on this point. He's 100% right, and this is a completely different line of thinking as well. It's like the word cameo. Cameo's lost all meaning. Like people are like, Daredevil cameoed in She-Hulk. No, the guy had a role. It's a guest appearance.
He co-starred almost.
Yeah. Stan Lee has a cameo. In movies, or he did cameo. But he rested.
No, he's actually dead. So the physical.
I mean, Tony Stark's. Don't do me like that.
Don't worry, he'll come back. There's always the AI approach, But
Deadpool is absolutely your role, and like it's not even just a recent thing, right? Words get changed all the time, like woke. Like woke's lost all its original meaning. It's not used.
Yeah, it's woke. They're all buzzwords for people that don't like something and they have to use that. I mean, like going back to the word woke is being used improperly anyways. Like it's not even being used. It's being used by old white guys to describe something, where it's like the word rooted in, a different culture. So even the kid agrees.
That's exactly what people who use woke in negative connotation actually sound like. It's like, yes, I agree.
I was called a snowflake the other day, and I'm like, I told the person, I was like, look, if you can come up with a better creative word to describe how I feel than using the word that's being regurgitated by everybody, every white guy politician, then come back to me. But, maybe I am. I don't know. But, like, you telling me that.
The people that use snowflakes are the snowflakiest of us all.
Yeah, they're definitely they're so bent out of shape that they're going to use the word snowflake to describe, whomever,
And this, right? This is people being like, oh, you only talking about this because the show sucks. No, we're talking about this because the show's smart, right? They're the villains of this. They're the bad guys of this show. And I was not expecting a revenge porn situation to happen in this show. That is a very sensitive subject. And I'm very surprised that Marvel, Disney. I know, like, I shouldn't really be thinking like that, but it's just something you don't expect to come up, right? You never expect to see it. Like, but at the end of the day, with this, it makes sense. But they went there, and I'm just like, ouch! Like, that sucks. That's so
call
bad.
it. I mean, I would say this. People call whatever you want to call it to describe it, but look, it's a genuine concern in like the culture, still. So it's like it's a topic, So of course, like a good show takes topics that are relevant and use it, as story, and it's just what it
and
is.
It only,
I mean, like,
I know, like, it's a bit like domestic abuse, right? There's only, you only really talk about it from one side, right? Only one side gets the more attention. Like, this sort of stuff can happen to a man, and it more than likely does happen to a man. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying it's not going to happen, but like, it's something everyone can relate to. Right? No one wants the bits, the ugly bits plastered out there on the internet for everyone to see. Unless you're into that sort of stuff, then more power to you. If it's your choice, sensual.
4chan is out there for a reason, I guess, and
4chan, Drakens, like, it's like, but when it's just slapped, like, trying to shame you for it online, that's got to be horrendous. Can't really, because I'm a good Christian boy, like JK. So
I am not.
In topic of this show,
I'm a non-practicing Christian person, so I can talk about this.
I'm a very good Catholic.
But I think if you think about how the show has been played out so far, it's like it's not a surprise that this is part of the show. So it's just been gaslight throughout the show. By the fans, by the people, and by the people inside the show. So it's like it just keeps up the meta-ness of the show.
It just took us such a dark twist.
Yeah,
like a dark left turn in what. Like, obviously, we knew intelligentsia was a thing. We knew what they were trying to do, but I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a front for the leader's brother. And I still think the cringiest Wakanda Forever white guy, like, that makes me. I hated that so much.
This is
like,
this is. Like, I think this is for the people that go, oh, nothing like this could happen because Disney controls this stuff.
Yeah, it feels very un-Disney-like to have.
Yeah, this is a very, and like the thing is like I think people forget that Disney owns like used to own Miramax, which put out a bunch of crazy ass like, and they still.
But then Disney's also the one that killed Bambi's mum and scarred a generation. That was my exact reaction to Bambi's mum dying.
Exactly. But I mean, like, Disney's not afraid to go there, so like it's not going to shut up the criticism of it, but it's just like it's just another example of anybody that says stuff like that is just ignorant. They just don't they don't like the thing, they don't like something so much that they take something and just label it that, so anyways, I think the show, I think with all the Daredevilness of it all, I think Tatiana Maslany still shines through.
100. I could watch those two sit on that roof for hours.
I would,
not even her. Literally where it's just her. Which, by the way, I really appreciate just seeing her in the suit.
Yeah.
As opposed to just seeing like She-Hulk in it. I really like that touch. Like, it's not horrendously baggy. Like, it still kind of fits, but it's like.
It stretches, spandex is her friend. So.
Yeah, like I really appreciated seeing that, but just them two sitting on that roof, even before like the fight, actually, before they just sit on the roof, like that back and forth they got in this entire, it is gold. It is pure.
It's gold, yeah. It's I mean, that conversation about goons, what the difference between goons,
henchmen, like one's paid. I was like, who cares?
But it's just such a great quippy conversation that that plays to both the actors involved. That you could tell that they have chemistry together. Like it's not some, and it's like it kind of shows that the two actors can pull this off, and like I think the great thing about it is like Charlie Cox fits like a peg into this into the show without looking like kind of out of his place.
Yeah, it's just amazing without even changing anything. It just fits. It's like a glove, right? It just goes on. It's snug, it's warm. It makes you happy.
Did you catch there's two little things that really made me really smile. Like two things. One was like when Charlie said, "Oh yeah, he made a couple other suits for me."
Yes, I did notice that. Yes, and I thought you're jammy about that. Daredevil's got the drip, right? He's born again, 18 episodes. We're gonna have more than one.
Yeah. And then also the what was it? Oh yeah. So another thing that confirms that this is kind of in the, that the Netflix stuff kind of. I think to get back to the Netflix and the thing, like the thing that people forget about season 3 is like where they left Matt and the crew. They left him at a pretty happy place, and like that kind of changes a person's outlook, and that might equate why he's so happy, not like frowning all the time, or whatever. Yeah. And then it also confirms that, there's other 2 people out there, and Karen.
The only bad thing these script writers did wrong, they didn't have my man say Foggy. They danced around that man's name. It's like, it's our practice. We only do. It's just like, say Foggy, man. He has a name. Why aren't you saying his name?
What I like about it is like every time that the character is in the MCU, it's like another layer gets kind of peeled off, So it's just being patient, I think.
Also, while I think about it, right. Speaking of other appearances of his in the MCU, they sorted his hair out.
Yep.
He didn't look like he was going bald, and I appreciate that because Matt needs a hairline, and he did not have that in No Way Home.
Yeah.
He was whoever stole that hairline needs to be locked up because.
Oh, he's already gone. I'm talking about.
Now
he's
he
in the
has.
gulag right now.
He looks like Matt in this, right? He's all scruffy top, like.
The person who did that is working at WB Discovery now. That's worse than getting.
Good. Oh, good. That's what we'd like to hear. Someone's the penance has come.
The punishment fits the crime. Okay. So.
The rapture has happened, and he has been taken.
Yep. And that person.
He has not been taken, I should say. That's obviously
no, he's worse. I would almost rather die than work at WB.
He's been left behind. Well, we've all descended to the.
He's with Kirk Cameron somewhere. They're partnering him up with a Kirk Cameron movie, so that's penance enough. So
good, get that. Out of
Nick, are you there, man?
Industry.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm sorry.
I don't want to hijack the conversation here, man. Like,
yeah, I'm sorry about that. Trying to get everything back to where it was.
Yeah, no problem. Just want to hear your beautiful voice. That's all. Make sure you're there.
So you got anything to say? We're going to wrap up in a few minutes because we got Andor and Werewolf. Well, I want to talk more about Werewolf by Night than I do Andor. Shock horror.
I think that's all you're going to talk about Andor anyways. Just to say the name. All right, that's done.
Show that exists.
It's exactly.
I feel like I'm alone on that island today.
Well, like I really enjoy the show. It's just that it's like there's nothing to talk about. With it.
Oh, we can get into the nothing to talk about when we record that.
That's if you want to hang around for the Andor one.
Or you can just sit there in silence.
Episode. If I watched a recent episode, I would join you guys.
Well,
I mean, you could guess. I mean, like you can read the Wikipedia page real fast if you like.
I'll give you a clue. Right? What happened in this week's Andor started with N and ended in G.
So mean. Can you please stay on? Because I feel like I don't really know when we're talking about this. I really wish Jared or somebody was there.
Look, at the rate Andor's going, you haven't got after next week. You haven't got to worry about it for 5 weeks.
That's all right. I can just talk about it in the privacy of my own house.
It's totally fine.
He does
get through these next 2 weeks, and
I can pretend to. I can pretend to record a podcast with the dog.
I mean, if you want, right?
Nah.
Record yourself talking about it and how you like it. Send it to me. I'll upload it. Okay. There you go. Content.
You can just interject. You going, I don't agree with that.
Exactly,
it sucks. Yeah. It's really bad. ADR.
I just put the occasional snore in there. But yeah, She-Hulk.
Best episode.
100%, yeah. Best episode by, and that's not because purely of Daredevil, right? Everything about this episode, it was just so well done. Like the script was the tightest it's been. Like I've loved this show from start to finish, right? But this one, I said it in the commentary. This one felt like this was the first episode written. They put their best foot forward on this one. That could be because they knew they had Daredevil. They knew they had to land it, but everything just clicked and it just worked.
I think it helped, that like a great actors in the scene too.
Oh, 100%. Like he elevated this episode, but I think if you took him out, replaced him with someone else, the episode, as long as the two actors got along right, and you had the same sort of chemistry, it would have been just as good.
Yeah, for sure. It's Leapfrog's episode all the way. So.
Like if this was like Ant-Man, because Ant-Man's in LA as well, or California, like it would have been just as good.
San Francisco. There's a lot of miles between San Francisco and California.
I need Paul Rudd in the She-Hulk series.
I mean, he's 5 hours away. So.
I just need those two together, right? I think they'd be fantastic. But...
That all depends on if he's in the quantum realm, though. At this time.
Fair point.
We can get him in spirit.
But he's got to do time for all those crimes and heists he's done at some point, surely.
It's true. He is. Nick, you were gonna say something, and we
Oh shit! Oh, well,
sorry.
Some of your money. I just sort. Anyway,
I'll send you the bill if it gets demonetized. Don't worry.
See ya.
Yeah. Well, this the episode to me, it kind of felt like what I thought the show was gonna be. You would have some lawyering stuff, maybe a cameo, and you would go to her doing her, doing superhero stuff, and then deal with life shit and relationships and whatnot, and get demonetized again. Force habits, sorry. But yeah, this episode to me was more or less, what I thought the show was gonna be like. And the last few episodes for me were kind of hit and miss for me. I liked them.
You're off the show.
Right.
Get off the show.
Right.
Nick's got to go.
This isn't me trashing Nick. I'm just saying, we haven't talked about this show in the slightest, so I'm genuinely interested. Which episode didn't hit? You fair warning.
Honestly,
you dare say the group therapy?
Yeah, you're completely off the show if you say that.
If it's the group therapy one, we're done.
I like never coming out.
I like that scene with the group. Okay, that was good. What?
Get out of here, man.
But like I said, when I said somebody it was just episode 5 or 7, there was just moments that just didn't really work for me. It might have been because they had really good concepts that they didn't go all the way with, in my opinion, and they could have done more with it. And maybe it's also some of the jokes, but comedy is subjective, so that's
fair.
That's fair. Well, there's a reason why this episode is the pinnacle. I can never say this.
Penultimate.
You can say this. Yeah, penultimate.
Are you trying to say pinnacle of the show or penultimate?
No, penultimate. Thank you for.
I say because both are right. But it is so far the pinnacle. I've got the Disney Plus series fear for the ending, right? Not that I think all the endings are bad. I don't. I think only maybe one or two have slightly fumbled it slightly.
Yeah.
But this show's so high and so consistent for me right now that after this one, I don't know if they can carry on that trajectory or if it's going to plateau or go down. It's with how. With what the ending of this episode, the whole revenge porn stuff, the idea of how the finale is going to go in my head, I'm convinced Blonsky's coming back and he's going to be the one to calm her down, right? That's how I'm thinking it's going to go, or at least the whole therapy crew is going to be there. Because I feel as I said on the here before, this show is done. You introduce a thing, you wait an episode, they all come back, right? That's how it's all worked out so far. So I'm expecting that to come back round full circle, but. With a 20-30 minute runtime, this is the only time I'm going to really complain about this. I'm kind of concerned it's not all going to fit in and all land in the finale next week. I have faith that they will, because I think this show has been the strongest one they've done by a country mile, and I'm really struggling to not put this at number one. I'm kind of fighting with myself about this, but it's just I just have the ending jitters. And I don't know.
I mean, it's
why it's the show is
understandable, because some of the shows, for one reason or another, have not gelled with the ending. I think this is kind of like the first season, and I'm seeing this subjectively and biased, like as a fan. This is the first season of any of the shows that kind of like from start to the second to last episode has been kind of strong all the way through. You know, there hasn't been one episode where I'm like, you know, this. I've laughed at almost everything that's been thrown at me in the episode. So I think I'm going to give the writers a benefit of the doubt, and like maybe it's
they've got the benefit of the doubt. Like, if I had to go, if there was a timeline where it's like, right, you watch all the shows by the end and you get to tell me which one's going to stick the strongest, I would 100% go for this one. I've got absolute faith they can do it, but there's always that little niggling of doubt in the back of your mind, like, can it actually do this? Like, if it
this
does,
is too good to be true type thing.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I think you know, I mean, that's understandable. Like, it's with any show. I think I get that feeling with any show sometimes because it's like,
yeah. I mean, I've got that with Rings of Power right now, right? I'm like, how the hell they got a 2 week?
How is this gonna work?
Yeah.
You know, like, but you know, I think I don't know. For me, it's the benefit of doubt. I think I'm just gonna let the last episode. It doesn't help that I've already seen it, you know, and I know it's gonna happen.
I was gonna say, you know, like.
And maybe that's why
Blonsky's back, right? No spoilers, but Blonsky's back.
I will. If you can see me, I'm giving you the gesture of.
Okay, yeah, I know that one very well. Yeah.
I know I'm a filthy liar, so.
And that's definitely demonetized. I'm gonna try and cut that one out.
Yeah, sorry. It was Nick's fault, not mine.
Sorry, everyone gets one. Everyone gets one.
But yeah, I think this show has been pretty strong all the way through, and I think I'm just gonna allow this last episode to kind of like go through and just, you know, wash all over me, I guess. It sounds dirtier than it intended to be.
I would absolutely let Maslany wash all over me.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't let her husband take that. But
what's an obstacle course, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
Every goal's got a keeper to it.
It's true.
It's totally fine.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm not Matt Murdock. I wouldn't break apart a family. Like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, Matt is a man whore. That's for sure.
He's a
man whore part 2. You know, Tony Stark's the pinnacle of man whoreness. So.
Be proud of him.
Oh,
you gotta wear it, man. Wear it like a flag, man. You know, like he's proud.
That walk of shame.
That walk of shame was great. You know, especially in the suit. You know, it's broad daylight. Mustard and red suit, you know, no shoes.
I love the fact that it was Nikki he was walking past.
Yeah.
I know she's a wholly original character. I adore that girl so much. She's so good.
Yeah.
She's such a good addition to this show.
Yeah.
What's her name? I can't remember the actress's name. Ginger something. I want to say Ginger Gonzalez, but.
But I think
she's phenomenal. I love her.
She definitely elevates the character for Jen, you know, like, you know, it's like someone just as funny bouncing off of, you know, like I couldn't, if it was the other way, like if it was Pug that was her best friend or something like that, I don't think it would work as well, you know. It's like, me love it. So
right, well, that's give or take 40 minutes for that. We'll be back next week for the finale. I don't even know what. I was going to try and say finale and final episode. I don't know why.
I think I rubbed off on you on that one.
We'll be back for episode 9. Tune in to find out if I say episode 9 at the start, at the first time or not. I might just say the finale. Right.
Everybody in the comments place bets on whether or not he's going
to place bets if the sun will rise. That's like money laundering, I'm certain.
Let's have a poll whether he like messes up on his call sign for Instagram and the episode count.
I've never got my Insta wrong. Get my Twitter wrong.
The Twitter. That's
right. Say it's correct. 7 next week.
What's that, sir?
You're gonna say it's gonna be episode 7 or 6.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's episode 1.
I mean, what did I do? Didn't I say it was like episode 5 last week? I was like, I told 2 weeks out. I don't.
Finale.
It'd be funny.
It's usually the 6th episode. You're gonna say Yeah.
It's a
definitely
sign
say
of
it's the
getting
finale
old.
next week.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
It's a sign of getting old, you know. We can't count as high, you know. It's, at least for me, anyways.
I ain't at your point yet. But yeah, Nick, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, man.
Are you free next week for the finale?
I might be. I'm not sure.
So we'll talk about it.
I'll have my.
I was gonna say my people, but I was just gonna say me.
Just contact the scheduling secretary, and we'll fit you in.
I'll tag you in the chat, you and Jared, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Because Jared's definitely going to be on, because we tradition.
Yeah, we need at least one person with that can articulate themselves correctly. So.
Yeah, because God forbid I can't do it. So yeah, thanks for joining everyone, and we'll catch you all next week. So bye bye.